McDonald's has entered a Minecraft movie universe, and Grimace, Birdie, and Hamburglar just spawned as new collectibles as part of a Minecraft movie meal with your choice of Big Mac or 10-piece chicken McNuggets with spicy nether flame sauce. Participate in McDonald's for a limited time. A Minecraft movie only in theater.
Make that move, you can't relate to that. I roll the dice, shit, if I lose, I'm gonna be shaking back. Cause lessons learned within the loss just elevate the fact that trial and error just the only way. Ain't no escaping that. I wake up, hit 100 push-ups, then I'm at my route. Check on my stocks, see how they looking, then I'm sliding out. When you start seeing your progression, you stop having doubts. And what's the point of having clout if you can't cash it out? True to this game, but I'm a lifer, ayy. Feel like we finna change the cycle, ayy. That's the most success, you know we thriving, ayy. That's the most depression for our rivals, ayy. Could teach a lesson on survival, ayy. You know I'm from the bottom.
Turn me up. Big Wealth Energy. Black Wealth Renaissance Podcast.
Big Wealth Energy.
We in here. If
I'm
y'all
sipping
don't
on
know,
some water.
it's that H-Town. If you ain't never heard it, go listen to it. This is that Zero. Turn me up.
Come on. What do you say? What do you say, Clap?
Slowed out and banging all in my trunk.
What?
Trunk full of funk. I ain't never been a punk. I roll on junk. I roll on Doja. Military minded, I'm a motherfucking soldier. Out the streets of the bitch, my foe. Ain't no in a hole. Every day of the year.
Get my point clear.
Why niggas wanna talk a dime? I don't know. Gotta take a trip to Acapulco with the fofo. Doing another homicide. Cut
that shit, Clap. That nigga Zero going crazy, man.
Yeah.
Yo, y'all already know what it is. Y'all know the vibes, man. It's your boy David, one of the founders of the Black Wealth Renaissance. Black Wealth Renaissance Season 5, Big Wealth Energy. I'm here with my brother, Jalen, Killer Clap. What's
out, man? How y'all doing, man? It's your boy, Jalen, another founder of the Black Wealth Renaissance Podcast. Happy to be back at it. Happy to be here. How you doing today, my brother?
Man, I'm doing good, bro. I'm back at it. I'm smoking the Scotty like it got crack in it, man. You already know how I'm feeling. This pod and shit feel good, y'all. We told y'all on the last one. We coming back from a little hiatus, a little break, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But it feel good to be back in the stew. Chopping it up, and we was having a great convo before the pod.
Yeah,
that might be some Patreon shit. Y'all don't know.
Y'all exclusive shit.
Y'all might. Hey, if y'all not on our Patreon, just check the show notes. It'd be some fire shit in there. But nah, bro, I'm doing good, man. I had the day off to relax and rejuvenate. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't get
my mind together. I'm ready to pod.
Yeah, I was off for a month and a half though, getting everything ready at home. Once again, like I said, got a kid coming, so just getting the room together, trying to get all this other bullshit. Really just taking care of the house too. We ended up moving into a new crib, so all of that, man. Excited about it, man.
New beginnings and life, man.
Yeah, man. And what you're talking about it feel good. Also, some of the conversations with some of the people that we've been having over these past 2 or 3 weeks, they've been really refreshing, man.
Facts.
Been able to get our mind off of a few things. As y'all know, we split away from our partners last year, but there was still a lot of shit that we were dealing with internally.
Shit that we was holding on to. For real.
Internally, and it's been really kind of fucking us up. It's been making me feel like, did we lose our voice of the brand? How the hell do I even do this shit again? I even asked my homies in the group we got with a whole bunch of other entrepreneurs. I was like, y'all ever felt like you was just broken as an entrepreneur? Not as a person,
right,
but as an entrepreneur. You don't even know how to fucking do this shit no more.
That's a fact. Yeah. They lose that, because I felt that, and that's something that, full transparency, leading with vulnerability, like my boy Kizzle would say, it's still something that I'm working through. Where it's at times that confidence that was there, that same thing where it's this was second nature.
Yeah.
Now it's I'm putting way too much thought into it. I've let almost a analysis paralysis then creep back in a sense where it's not analysis paralysis. It's more so the mental shit that you're not moving past. That's
you felt like you could take on the world at one point, right?
Man, my faith in myself was undefeated, son.
I felt like I could jump out of fucking airplane, fucking...
No parachute figured out on the way down.
I'm telling you, man, but then at one point it just, and I don't know if that's my entrepreneurial spirit was being crushed or, I got scared to really reach out to people and stuff like that. At one point, I still got a huge Rolodex of people in my phone, but sometimes I even find myself should I even hit this person up? am I even gonna be able to add value to them now? Like that was one of my affirmations I'll tell myself every day. Add value. How can you add the most value to somebody? That I felt like I didn't even know how to do that. Like damaged goods type shit.
Damn. And I was feeling like the messed up cans on the aisle, son.
Yeah, son.
But we ain't no discount niggas.
Shit that's on clearance.
Look, we ain't no clearance niggas. You heard us? We getting it back together. That's why we back in the stew. We gonna continue to work on this and keep going through it. I think you and I had talked about it. I think we should do that, bro.
Yeah, we should do it.
An open therapy session with y'all. I think that might be beneficial.
Yeah,
because
if y'all are therapists or y'all know a therapist who probably specializes in like entrepreneur, and I know it's some past childhood trauma and shit too that we need to get off. But yeah, we willing to do an open therapy session on the pod.
Open therapy for entrepreneurs. We might even maybe do a call in. Let y'all get y'all thing in too. Cause
I'm talking about. I want to cry on this bitch.
I don't know about all that.
That's your problem.
I'm not
that's your problem.
I don't know. Hey,
I
got a wall between me and my emotions sometimes.
You gotta
I keep
get
it real.
to the root of the problem. That's your problem.
Hey, nigga, it is what it is. That's why we do an open therapy session. If y'all see me crying,
I want to see this big nigga tears.
If I'm over here snotty nose, bro, I must have really been going through it on that one. But no, really, I think it would be a good episode, honestly, especially because when you asked that question earlier in the week, the response that we got from people who are people that we look up to, these are mentors in our eyes, like people that's more successful than us, and they telling us they feeling the exact same feelings. So it's like, it's not isolated to any entrepreneur. These are all problems that we go through, especially like ourselves. We're not full-time entrepreneurs anymore. We shared that with y'all as well. Whenever you're doing the 9-to-5 entrepreneur grind, the 5 to 9 grind, it's a different set of things that come with that. And we just want to talk through it and get on it, man.
Pack some shit.
Exactly, man. That's what we here for, to create impact. But as always, y'all already know we got another great episode for y'all, man.
Another great guest.
This one is long
overdue.
overdue. This should have happened 2 years ago whenever we got to Dallas. But this is a brother in the city making major things. He is leading the wave, showing the culture of entrepreneurship, showcasing the culture of entrepreneurship, right, in the city of Dallas and all over. My brother is showing, he did a lot of different things, right? I mean, he got the media company, they do experiential marketing, they got events, some of the best events that you'll come to in Dallas. If you're in Dallas, you definitely need to be there. He has a print magazine, media, man, it's going crazy. I got none other than our guy, Cosign, KG, the brother co-signing and putting people on, man. How you doing, brother?
Good, my guy. I need y'all to do my intro from now on, man.
Hey, man. You know what I'm saying?
Man. Yeah, I might just cut that clip.
Cut that clip. Put it honestly, bro, it's all well deserved because really, it's beautiful to see the work that you've been doing since we met you. Like from the awards gala, the consistency is what was really admired, bro. The fact that you continue to push these things out and help foster that culture of entrepreneurship in Dallas, like you and I was talking off camera, Dallas a weird city.
Definitely.
Dallas is about
definitely
their business.
Socialite. Yeah. You know, it's definitely who
everybody
you know.
in their pocket.
Everybody got a clique.
Yeah, it's super cliquey and a lot of gatekeeping. So anything that we can do to break those barriers down, I hats off to you for leading the wave in that.
And I think Tim told us that, like, niggas that don't live in Dallas come to the city, take over and do the best because they don't have the same mindset as the people who's been here that long.
Nah, for sure, man. People always assume I'm from Dallas, and I'm like, nah, I'm not from it. They're like, damn, it makes sense. You know, it makes sense. But it's like when I came to the city, bro, I really just try to figure out what value I can add. Like you talked about earlier, what value can I add? And I just came from a point where I just wanted to showcase other people. And I feel like when you do that, you put other people first, naturally it's gonna come back to you. You know what I'm saying? So like recently I won Entrepreneur of the Year award.
Congratulations, much deserved too, bro.
Can we get the claps on the button, man?
It's the yellow one.
Thank you. And I appreciate that, but what was awkward about it was like, man, I made a career out of co-signing others. So when you finally get co-signed, you finally get your flowers, it hits differently. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a wild ride and wild journey, and I'm glad to be here, able to talk, my 1-2 with y'all today. But, we definitely gonna get into it, unpack everything from, the city of Dallas to, the culture of entrepreneurship, Cosign, whatever y'all want to get into.
For sure.
We're here for it.
Well, so really just to get it started, I know I gave the intro to you, bro, but I want to know just like what led you to creating this brand Cosign, bro? Like, how did you get here? I know we've talked. You used to be a government contractor.
Nah, facts. Yeah, man.
Few different things.
So to make a long story short, but we'll keep the details in there. So my family's from Panama, the country. I was born in Brooklyn, went to Brooklyn. My dad joined the military. That's how I got to Texas, right? In high school, I thought I was going to the league. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was going to be NBA. And I surely realized I'm 5'7", that ain't going to happen. So I was like, man, what's my second passion? It was magazines, bro. I collect.
McDonald's has entered a Minecraft movie universe, and Grimace, Birdie, and Hamburglar just spawned as new collectibles in the overworld. Now for a limited time, you can get one of 6 McDonald's collectibles when you order a Minecraft movie meal. Ooh. With your choice of Big Mac or 10-piece chicken McNuggets with spicy nether flame sauce. Available now in a biome near you. Oh, and at your local McDonald's. At participating McDonald's for a limited time. A Minecraft movie only in theaters.
Vibe, XXL, King magazines, anything you could think. I was collecting the magazines. I still, to this day, I still got crates of magazines.
Nah, that's dope.
So it was going to be I want to be in a magazine, or I want to be a psychologist. In Killeen, you're like, I don't even know how to start my own magazine. So I'm like, all right, let me go to psychology route. I was in AP psychology, and my teacher asked me, why you want to be in psychology? I'm like, well, I want to study people's behaviors. Like, what makes them purchase certain things? Why do they think the way they think? And she was like, you know, that's 8 years of school. And I'm like, yeah, I can't do 8.
That sounds like a jail sentence.
I can't do 8. And she was like, well, there's other things where you can still study people's behaviors, and it's not psychology. And she was like, well, look into marketing. I'm like, I ain't thinking about that. So I looked into marketing, ended up going to school for marketing and advertising. Okay. And when I moved to Dallas, the door just opened, right? I was working at a CD store called Eargasm. There I met an A&R for Universal Music, right?
Oh, that's hard.
I became an intern at Universal Music. While I was an intern for Universal Music, I met Jen River City. She worked for Ozone Magazine. Ozone was created in Orlando, but it was based out of Atlanta. It was like the Southern magazine for hip hop. They had like all the artists.
They used to have the Ozone Awards.
Yeah, Ozone Awards, bro. So I had a position at Ozone. So started off, I was basically just getting the magazines and I'll pass them out everywhere around the city. I started to get known for them. I'm like, man, I'm gonna start writing my own interviews. So I interviewed Trey the Truth. That was my first interview. Interviewed Trey the Truth. I spent a lot of time writing up. I wrote it up, I sent it to them, and it didn't get printed. I was mad, but I was like, you know what, let me keep trying.
Was it because of the band shit? The blackball shit?
It was before that.
Okay.
Yeah, it was before that. My article probably wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? When you young, you think everything is solid, but it probably wasn't good. But then what really hit me was, I'm like, all right, Trey, all these artists are dope, man, but there's people working behind the scenes that's really pushing them, like managers, publicists, photographers, executives, A&Rs. I'm like, man, I want to interview them. And they were like, nah, we really only focus on the artists. So at that point, it hit me. I'm like, well, there's so many different positions in the music industry and in entrepreneurship alone. Why can't we tell those type of stories? And they have their own thing. So I'm like, well, I'm going to start my own one day. So I always kept that in the back to my mind, but I didn't have any money. Mm-hmm. So I was like, man, let me figure out how I can get some money fast, legally. So coming from Killeen, it was going overseas. Like, that's how you would make a good amount of money at a young age. So I applied. It took a year for me to get the job. I went overseas as a government contractor, making $150K a year. And stacking up my bread, like paying off the little debt I had, stacking up my bread. And when I came back, after 2 years, I went to Atlanta for 60 days. And when I went to Atlanta, I locked in. Like, my dude Mike eyeing my photo, I give a lot of credit to him, because he was like one of those people who was brilliant at everything: photography, videography, graphic design. I locked in for 60 days, bro, and we came up with like the first magazine. Like, I came up with the name, the concept. He designed it. We did all these interviews in Atlanta. I found a printer, printed the magazine, came back to Dallas. I printed out 1,000 copies and just gave them away. So from there, I'm like, okay, if I start to get some traction from giving away this 1,000 copies, because I spent $5,000 on my credit card, maxed it out to get them. I was just about
to ask you, what was that capital investment like?
Credit card, Bank of America credit card, gave me $5K, maxed that joint out. Yeah. All on the magazines. I'm like, all right, bet. If I don't get no traction from this, then it was a $5,000 lesson. But if I get some traction, that's my first, initial investment in myself. And bro, I want to say after this, bro, like, people was emailing me like, bro, I've never seen this type of quality of a magazine. Where y'all based out of? How can I get featured? How can I get an interview? And I wasn't even charging people. I was interviewing everybody. If you said you had an event, fashion show, conference, mixer, I was going to everything, bro. I was going to everything, showing love, taking pictures, doing interviews. And that's how I just got the name out there in Cosign. Like, I didn't make money like 3 years in. You know what I'm saying? 3 years in, I was still working like side jobs, contracting here and there, 6 months, 4 weeks, doing all this. And it was going good, but I didn't understand the business of a media company. I just knew like I wanted to do interviews.
Doing this on purely passion.
On purely passion. But when you got responsibilities, it requires you to man up real fast. It's like, okay, I can't continue to be in the red, so let me start to research the actual business of having a magazine. The number one business model for magazines is advertising. But I'm like, as things change, things are going digital. That's how Ozone went out of business because they didn't want to go digital. And how am I going to sustain? People aren't spending what they were spending on print advertising. So that introduced me to events, which changed the game of Cosign. Doing events.
So that's when the events came into play. So okay, and I'm really enjoying hearing this story from you, bro. Because like it goes back to the earlier conversation. That faith in yourself, that investing in yourself, taking that risk, that $5,000 on some stuff to take that bet on yourself after you got the experience. That was a seed being planted. And even after you planted that seed, right? People would think, oh man, I did it. It's gonna work. I'm gonna be up. It took 3 more years of work before you started reaping the fruits of that.
I ain't make $1 in 3 years. Like no advertising, like nothing, bro. I was doing the interviews, paying for everything, the photography, paying for people writing it up, the design. I was still printing too, and I was just not making any money.
What was your mindset throughout that period?
My mindset was I had to get Cosign known. Till this day, my thing is, at the end of the day, I want Cosign to be a household name, just like Pepsi, Coke, Sprite, BT. Think about media company BT. Even if Black Entertainment Television isn't your demo, everybody knows what BT is.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the same thing. Like I don't care what demo you are. At the end of the day, I want everybody to know what Cosign is, because essentially, Cosign is used every day in terms people don't even know about it. People co-sign people every day.
Facts.
When somebody says, hey, where should I go eat at? I'll go to Kitchen and Cocktails. That's a cosign. So once I can train people to realize that word of mouth, referrals is all a cosign, and I can tie it back into the brand, we up. It's out of there. You know what I'm saying? So that's the goal. If I can figure out how to tie that in together, then we out of there. I don't know if that's going to be some type of content series. I don't know what that's going to be, but once I figure that out.
That's why I always love the name Cosign, and whenever you explain that, because it really is that, like, you are co-signing whenever you make an introduction for somebody.
Exactly.
Whenever you talk, like, just give a recommendation. That's all a cosign, and you're providing value, and that's the best form of marketing at the end of the day. Like, I can send you 25 posts on social media. You might like every one of them and not come to the event.
Exactly.
But if your homeboy say, hey, yo, BWR got this event. Hey, Cosign got this event. They always doing something fire.
Yeah.
Your interest just shot through the roof. You seen the ad on Facebook 10 times.
Yeah.
Scroll past it each time. I ain't going that shit. But no, I'm glad you mentioned that. So whenever you started doing the research into how a media company actually works, and that's when you landed on events?
Yeah, so I landed on events because I was doing the research, and they were saying, and everything was moving to like community building in person and products. So we had a magazine, but it was like that came out at that time. It was coming out quarterly.
Okay.
So I'm like, how am I going to make money if I'm not really doing great at advertising every day? Like business, you make money every day. So I got to figure how that out. So like, okay, if I can create one product to where it's like it's an influx of capital, that could probably sustain me to the next magazine. And low key, what happened was there was this group. ADD. If you're from Dallas,
digital?
No. This was so how it was spelled was ADD plus, big A dot, big D, little D with a plus sign. These guys were basically like the outcasts of Dallas.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, Dallas had a hipster scene, and then we had like the boogie scene.
The boogie scene is Young and Nation.
Yeah.
I walk with a deal.
So you know, so
like
just how like they were super popular, ADD was that. In the hipster scene, right? Like I said, like Outkast, UGK, that's kind of how they were. And they were killing it. Like these guys were selling out trees in the Granada, like 800 people, local acts.
That is good.
That's
local
amazing,
acts.
Local acts. Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They went on a Red Bull tour, but it's like because they weren't, talking about dance or gang or trap, they weren't really getting like the hood's love. But if you was in like the art scene, you knew about them. So I interviewed them right after they did like the Sell at the Granada. Like nobody's ever sold at the Granada like as hip hop act. And I interviewed them, bro, and I'm like, man, this is a moment. This is bigger than just me interviewing them, putting it out, and hoping people get the magazine. Like, I need the people in the hood. I need my people to come meet them, see them, and you'll fall in love with them. And I need to make some money. So I was like, an event. And what I did was, I didn't charge for entry because I need to build community and I need to prove a proof of concept. So I didn't charge for you to come in. But at that time, I wasn't having sponsors, so people was going to drink. So I had to do my old bartender services. I charged for the drinks, I charged for the magazine, and I built merch. Okay. And how that worked and how I made money was because, like I said, when you meet these guys, they were so infectious that you wanted to naturally support them. So we sold out of magazines. That was the first time we ever sold out of magazines because they met them, they saw them, they signed autographs and all that. So it was a moment. So basically from there, I had a proof of concept. I took those photos, videos, promoted, like, you know, every time we're going to drop a magazine, we're going to do some type.
This episode is brought to you by Chevy Silverado. When it's time for you to ditch the blacktop and head off-road, do it in a truck that says no to nothing. The Chevy Silverado Trail Boss. Get the rugged capability of its Z71 suspension and 2-inch factory lift. Plus, impressive torque and towing capacity thanks to an available Duramax 3-liter turbo diesel engine. Where other trucks call it quits, you'll just be getting started. Visit Chevy.com to learn more.
Type of event. And then from there, it just kind of took off. And I'm like, okay, how can I build and scale on these events so that way I can make more capital over and over?
That's dope, bro. And that's such a good thing because, like, for the magazine as a product, right, as you said, you're building community around that product. The magazine price could be part of the entry because I remember going to the Cosign Awards. You get a magazine with that. It's a nice touch to it. You got something that you can... Yeah, we should have brought the damn magazine.
I know. I
should have. I'm over here tripping.
Nah, it's all good. But it's one of those things where it's like you said, you're getting to build that community. Sure. And so you were able to make that first event, and that's kind of was your blueprint. You got that proof of concept. You could make some money from it.
Did it do what it needed you to do? Like,
did you make money?
I finally made some money. I mean, it wasn't a lot because, like I said, I didn't charge the door, but I made enough money to where I was in the green finally. You know, and I had a little extra capital to be like, okay, how can I scale this up? Right? So at that time, I did that at an art gallery. So I'm like, okay, people love this art scene. I'm from Killeen, like, there wasn't no art scene. So this is all new to me, so I'm excited. So I'm like, okay, let me start going to more events like these so I can see what people are doing. And what that ended up becoming was the Cosign experience. Offline, we talked about how I would go to like BT, to cover the awards. I applied for media, and I noticed they would do this thing called the BT Experience, which was a weekend lineup leading up to the BT Awards. BT Experience was basically everything that encompassed BT. So you go to like a vendor expo, they have performances, they got fashion, they got panels, etc. So I'm like, man, Dallas ain't got nothing like this. So I did the Cosign Experience, but I didn't have an awards at that time. The main event was our fashion, music, and art show. That's what we was having on at that time. So it was like, we had 5 designers, a couple artists. We had like some painters, a live paint, and we were making money off of that. So I would do mixers so everybody could kind of get together, meet each other, figure out how they could work with each other. Then I would do panels. Then I would do like fitness stuff, like yoga events, to get your mind and body right. And then I ended with the Cosign Experience Art, Music, and Fashion Show. And once I started doing those like weekend of events,
those experiences, you can start bundling things.
Exactly, I'm bundling. So one event might be this X amount of dollars. This one. You can do the whole weekend for this price. Then I'm attracting sponsors now. Like, okay, well, how can we get into this? It may be income. Now I'm like, okay, so now I can say I worked with, my first sponsor was Vito Coco Coconut Water. Right? They ain't give me no money. They just gave me product. But I'm like, I'm about to blow this up. Like they gave me, like they were the title sponsor. So once I got them, then I got the attention of Red Bull. Then I got the attention of Mountain Dew. Then I got the attention of Bud Light. And it's like, man, I'm about to run this up. Then my recurring word is research. I started research like, okay, sponsorships. Like, how do you make a successful sponsorship campaign, right? And then I was like, okay, it's an online, offline experience. It's not just at the actual event. It's the build up leading to it. So even if you gave me $500, I'm going to make your sponsorship look like you gave me $50,000, right? I'm going to embed it into everything Cosign.
I mean, we just seen it with the Cosign Awards. The awards show is 3 months away now?
3 months away. Yeah.
Just dropped the sponsor list. This is I'm liking that you're sharing this because I can see it in real time and how it adds value to those sponsors.
Yep.
Because like it's online, offline. I'm seeing what you're saying. I appreciate that. You giving me some gems right now.
Nah, for sure, bro. And that's the thing. So, you know, I do this sponsorship guide, you know, like these workshops, and what people fail to realize is everybody has the same sponsorship pitch. I'm giving y'all again, we're on Black Wealth Renaissance, so I got to give y'all some gems. Everybody got the same sponsorship proposals, decks. Do my event, I'm going to give you a post on social media, a mention, and I'm going to put you in the, whatever
somewhere
it is. The program. The program.
Yeah. Give you some branding on site, something like that.
Honestly, is that worth would you pay $10,000 for that?
No.
So if you wouldn't pay $10,000 for that, why would you try to sell somebody $10,000 for that, right? There's no value in just awareness. You have to ask. I ask my potential sponsors, what are y'all looking for? What's y'all KPIs? What's y'all initiatives? People go into meetings assuming, oh, they need exposure. I'm gonna introduce them to my 5,000 followers. They really don't need your 5,000 followers
because they're already a brand.
But
JP Morgan Chase don't need that.
Exactly.
Coca-Cola don't need that.
But what they might have an initiative to where it's like, hey, our initiative is we're trying to reach Black and brown entrepreneurs 18 to 25, so we need more leads, we need more emails to be able to pitch to them. Oh, that's what you need. Okay, this is what I can do. Okay, what is your initiative about? Oh, for a car company, you want to see who's in the business of buying a new car within the next 6 to 9 months. I can make that an opt-in question on my survey now. So now when you're buying tickets to my event, you have to answer, are you looking to buy a car within the next 3 to 6 months? Now I can give you that data within a sponsorship package. Out of 600 people coming to my event, 350 looking to buy a car in the next 6 months.
And now you got the email.
Now you got
and all
the
that
email.
stuff.
Now that's worth $10,000.
Yeah,
because if you sell 2 cars
or 3, your money back.
That dealership made that money back. You got to think outside the box. We're all thinking like, okay, put your logo on a step and repeat carpet. They don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? What they need data that they could position to get them more leads, more sales, or that they could funnel, you know what I'm saying, through the organization. Wow, so once you start realizing that, bro, like, you could really win. And even brands may even have products or campaigns throughout the year. So I work a lot with spirit brands. So once I start asking them, I'm like, so what's y'all initiative? I found out that Tres Generaciones Tequila, their big thing right now is artists. I'm like, okay. I'm a magazine for the culture of entrepreneurship, but entrepreneurs listen to music. How can I tap entrepreneurship music with tequila? Okay, I could do something to where it's like, okay, what entrepreneurs do I know have side hustles or invest in real estate or invest in stocks? Now I can make conversations about, you know, music, but also about business, Earn Your Leisure, Black Wealth Renaissance, but we could tie it in with the tequila now. So now it makes sense. And now I'm not going outside my brand and just talking about what made you want to become an artist. That's dope, but that's not, you know, my niche. So once you start figuring out what their campaigns are, their initiatives, bro, and align it with what you got going on, you can get really creative. But people aren't getting creative, man.
So how many tries did it take you to actually lock into that part?
Man, to be honest with you, I feel like my strong suit is relationships. So it didn't take much. What it took was I found I became really good friends with a sponsor. So if you're in Dallas and you know Hennessy, you know Rome.
Yeah, I mean Rome. Shout out to Rome.
Shout out to Rome. So Rome initially was my client at first, and then we became really good friends. So I would just ask him. I'm like, hey, bro, if you can give me any insight, feedback of, you know, what you need for this sponsorship to be, you know, a success, because I don't want you to think just because we're friends, I'm gonna take it easy on you, or I'm not gonna give you the whole campaign. He just started telling me like, bro, this is our initiatives, our KPI. This is what I have to turn in for them to say this campaign was successful. I'm like, well, it's easy. I can reverse engineer that. If you say you need X, Y, and Z, I can give you that plus more. So once he told me that, I'm like, okay, let me start asking everybody I work with that. And then let me also think about, okay, if Rome says they look for cultural moments, for this year example, like Hip Hop 50, they're looking for cultural moments. They know that every year. Let me just start looking a year early to see what cultural moments do y'all have next year. That way I can tap in first. So I would just say, build a relationship with a client you do have, and then you ask them questions. They'll give you the game if y'all got a real relationship. So he gave me the game, so I didn't have to like really learn from losing. Like I learned early on from paying attention to him and executing.
That's That's good.
My boy dropping sauce on us right now. We ain't even call it gems no more. He lacing y'all up with some game right now, real talk.
Sauce on it.
But so the events, that was the next aspect of the brand Cosign to be. So I kind of want to ask you now, when did you start building out with team, right? Because we talked about that a little bit off camera too. Like whenever we start entrepreneurship, we start the brand by ourselves. You took off on that mission by yourself. You just had to, when you first published the magazine, it was just you and one other person, right?
Right. Correct.
So, like, what did that look like building out a team to continue to grow the mag and the brand?
Trial and error. But I will say this. I think a lot of entrepreneurs face the same problem, too, is sometimes you do so great at, your job that your company organization, it looks really appealing. So people want to be a part of what's cool. But then once they actually get a part of it, they understand this takes a lot more work. That it's more than just pulling up to the events, smiling, free drinks, etc. Then it becomes a lot more what they expected. So for me, I never had a problem of obtaining team members. I had a problem maintaining team members. It's because
same thing with money, man. It's easier to get than keep. It's easier to get than keep, man.
And for
good
a while,
people are hard to find.
Man, so hard to find. And for a while, I'm like, okay, as a leader, am I supposed to lead and motivate? Cause like,
nigga, I was just talking about this shit yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Like, I said, nigga, because honestly, I'm not the motivational nigga. Like, I've played sports my whole life.
Yeah,
I've been on football teams. Typically, was one of the better players. Y'all see my.
At Sierra, discover top workout gear at incredible prices, which might lead to another discovery. Your headphones haven't been connected this whole time. Awkward. Discover top brands at unexpectedly low prices. Sierra, let's get moving.
Big nigga, I'm pretty good. You know what I'm saying? You see me.
Sorry, man.
All right, nigga. All right, nigga. Let's line up. Get the 4-point stance on the pod. Come on, let's go.
Oh, no smoke.
I'm straight.
No smoke.
But that was always one of the things. I was never the type of leader to be a vocal leader. Yeah. I'm not we're going to do this and we're going to do this and rah, rah, rah. That's not me. So, but I continue,
So I'm like, do I got to lead and motivate? Because I'm laid back. So it's like, my thing is, I lead by example.
Exactly.
Right? I'm coming to the events early. I'm the first one there. I'm the last one to lead. I set up, I sweep. I don't care what it is. I'm going to do it. So if y'all see me taking initiative to do everything, that should be like, all right, if KG's picking up a box, I need to pick up a box, right?
But it don't translate
to that. It
translate to you doing all the work and them niggas just looking.
Exactly.
And so that shit there, that's one of the most frustrating feelings in the world. It's like, why the fuck am I paying you, nigga?
For real, bro. So then it got to the point where it's like, okay, maybe I need to make people feel like they have ownership. I can't give you ownership, but I need you to own a part of Cosign. So then I was like, okay, editor-in-chief. Anybody who wants to get in a magazine, you go see Bree. This was a girl I worked with for a long time. She helped me out a lot. You go see Bree. And people love power. So it's like I ain't gonna lie, she worked for free for that power. Like, oh, you want to be in Cosign? You gotta come see me.
Yeah.
And she would really like hustle. Like, she was a photographer, editor. Like, she would really hustle and work great. So it's like, you give people a position and you let them do them. But where I failed at was I didn't provide any structure or any accountability or any type of SOPs. So it's like, if I try to bring somebody else in, I couldn't even tell you how to do what Bree did. You just got to watch Bree. And if Bree felt it some type of way, she's not going to give you the sauce. So it's like, man, I can't continue to operate just bringing people on, let them do them. I really got to treat this as an organization, we talked about earlier, really treat it as an organization and structure that so that when I bring people on, now I'm not wasting so much time trying to figure out how to train them. Shadow me, this is the SOPs, do this step by step. But SOPs take a long time, man.
That shit not easy to make. Hey, free tool is Scribe. Scribe is a free, easy tool that we learned recently, like for any online-based process, but not everything is on the computer.
Yeah.
Niggas, sometimes some of these things you got to sit there and type it out and take what's in your head, because it sounds easy in concept because you do it and it's second nature. But being able to document something in a way that somebody else can pick up a piece of paper, read it, and do what you need to do, that's a challenge. But it's worth the challenge.
You know how detailed you got to be? I'm going to give you an example. So Cosign does so many different things. We got our own podcast studio too, right? I was in Panama for a month, so I had some team members run the podcast. So they did an amazing job. But what I realized, like, everything is in the details. So I sent them step by step. Set up the stand, set up the mic, put the mic inside the chair, blah, blah, blah.
You didn't tell them how to set up.
I didn't tell them exactly. So I'm looking at the video for these clients. The cord is hanging like right here. So I'm watching the whole video with a cord. Then I told them, wrap the cord. Then they wrap the cord, but then it's hanging. So you got to get so detailed to where it's like, wrap the cord 20 times around the thing. And it's, you know, like you got to get that detailed, bro. And it's like, dang, I didn't even think about that.
Because to you, again, it's just
common
what
sense.
I'm doing. This is I've done this a million times, but to somebody that's new, they might cut. And it's I don't want to say cut corners. They're cutting corners in a sense. It's like they're not doing it how you want it to be done.
And sometimes they don't know. They think, okay, I set the mic up. I got sound. I'm good to go. Now I'm looking at them like, bro, this looks horrible.
Yeah,
you know,
got a cable running over the table and
cable
shit.
everywhere. I'm like, oh man, look, this looks horrible. Lighting is off because they didn't have I didn't tell them where to put the exact lighting. I didn't tell them to match the lighting. So I'm like, man,
you tell them if they needed to be warm temp, cold temp, none of that.
Exactly, bro, none of that. So it's like, okay, now you got to get super detailed to this point to where it's like, if you gave this to somebody off the street, could they do this? Could they do this same way you would do it? And that takes a lot of time, a lot of thought, because even the steps got like by steps, which has by steps. So it's like,
yeah, I think the thing that I have to recognize of that process too is that it's not a one-time thing.
Oh yeah,
you got to modify.
You find
living document,
consistent living document. Exactly.
Sure.
That you got to modify because processes change. You know,
Definitely
things change. If you upgrade studios or you get new cameras, then you got to do all of that
Or
stuff.
you might get a new worker that they see something that's being done, they become the technician in the role, and they find a way to do it that may be a little bit more efficient.
No,
that's a fact.
You make the switch audible on that, and that might actually benefit your business in the long run.
No, for sure. Change program. Like we went from Trello to Notion. So then like, all right, you got to do the same thing for Notion, but it's a different program. So now you got to go back and modify the steps, you know what I'm saying, for the operating procedure. So it's crazy, man.
About how long did it take you to get all of that together? Because I remember me and him, we worked on SOPs for like 2 or 3 months, man.
Bro, I'm not going to lie. It really sounds bad. It really took me like 6 to 9 months because you got to think we have the magazine portion. So that's one part, which is print. Then we got like procedures on like how to post the blog. So then it's web. Then it's like, okay, how are we going to do social? So our social, that's another procedure. Then it's the podcast studio. Then it's like my podcast, Cosign Conversations podcast. Like, I need to show you how to set it up exactly so that way I can just walk in.
Engineer everything
exactly.
So
it's a lot. Then it's like, okay, then there's different roles. Sponsorships, like, okay, how can I show somebody else to sell sponsorship? So like every little aspect I had to do, and it took me too long. So like sometimes I would sit on something, let my assistant read it, she would add to it, then I'll come back to it and add to it. And it's like, okay, we'll bring on somebody else, a new role. So I'm like, let me do this SOP, and then I had to go back to the other one. So 6 to 9 months to like really lock in to like get everything completely done. And now I'm hearing about like companies that do SOPs for you. I'm like, man, I would have just paid the bread.
And honestly, it's really worth it because then they can come in and actually structure it and all that stuff. It ain't gonna just be on no Word document.
They kind of specialize in like the different ways people learn and stuff too. That's another thing I wanted to get into because you said scribe, right? Like sometimes we giving it to people to read, but that's not their learning style. They need to visually see it, right? Like you might say, hey, wrap the card or whatever, but instead of doing big loops, they might do small tight coils or something.
Take a picture.
So now you got the pictures with you. Like it's other stuff too. Like people don't think about, okay, yeah, I can say that, but you also need pictures. Or shout out to my CMO Emily. She was like, we need to start doing training videos. I'm like, dang, that's more work and time to put back into that. But people are visual learners, so it's like, okay, I get it. But if that would save me time on the back end, having to go through this multiple times, then I'm willing to invest in it. But you know, you got to have people that's willing to show you other ways to get things done faster, more efficiently. Super important.
And KG, earlier we were talking. You were talking about shifting your focus in the business into more of that CEO role. I want to ask you, what's been the biggest lesson you've learned transitioning from being the technician in the business to being the CEO of the business?
Man, it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. I really realized that if we look at the greatest corporations in the world, they make money every day, every hour,
every second,
every minute, every second. And it's like, yeah, I have a media company, but there shouldn't be no reason why we're making, profit just as often. So I had to shift my focus. I'm like, okay, if Cosign doesn't make money, that's my responsibility. I can't afford to have a team. So I need to focus on revenue generating strategies. That's what I'm great at, right? So what happened was I was adding a lot of team members, but it's like my revenue wasn't growing. So now I got more expenses, making less money. It's like, okay, I'm too focused on these events. I'm too focused on social media, but it's not generating any revenue for our company. So it's like, how can I do that? So I kept the people in place, and my mind was like, okay, in order to bring a CMO on like Emily, I got to be able to afford to pay her, all right? So what are the top five business models in Cosign? So I really did my research. Okay, we make majority of our profit, our revenue in events, sponsorships, tickets, podcast production, and then like advertising is the last thing. I'm like, okay, if that's it, then I need to focus on those, right?
Feed was feeding me.
Yeah, exactly. Feed was feeding me. So that's why I need to focus on those. So what I did was, okay, if it takes me a lot of time, the decks will take me a lot of time. So what I did was I trained one of my team members on how to create a deck, right? So that way I don't have to keep spending hours creating decks. I could tell you, hey, I'm pitching to Cadillac, right? They can create the deck, and all I got to do is fine tune it and pitch it. So that saves me a lot of time. So now I can spend more time on finding contacts, pitching, making the money instead of spending hours creating a deck, fine tuning the deck. I'm losing opportunities that way. So what really shifted was putting myself in a hole, like investing in things that's going to take a long time to return. It's like, okay, we can't keep operating from the point to where it's like, okay, we have 4 major events where we're relying.
The spirit of innovation is deeply ingrained in America, and Google is helping Americans innovate in ways both big and small. The Department of Defense is working with Google to help secure America's digital defense systems, from establishing cloud-based zero-trust solutions to deploying the latest AI technology. This is a new era of American innovation. Find out more at g.co/American innovation.
On these 4 major events to see capital, how can we make money every day? And once I realized that, that's when my whole focus shifted to like, okay, you got to be a CEO. CEOs like lead the team into like, revenue driving strategies. We watched movies like the Uber show, the series they had. He was focused on growth. Growth. That's how you get to the next level. If you're not growing, you're stagnant. So like we couldn't be stagnant. Like to the outside world, Cosign was looking amazing, but we weren't growing. It was just, I felt like we was on a plateau.
And if you're on a plateau, the fact of the matter is you dying slowly.
Exactly.
Like I look at it as anything, it's over time, inflation. Things lose value over time.
Everything else gonna outpace what you're doing.
Yeah, and it's weird because sometimes I used to think, okay, we're in media. Like media is a luxury. Like people get caught up in their everyday lives where it's like, man, they gotta feed their family, feed their kids. So they may watch content on their leisure when they have time. They may go to events if they can afford it, but it's like, how can you make media a necessity? It goes back to like feeding into people, providing value. Like, yeah, okay, I might have some entertaining content, but I'm gonna feed your soul, right? I'm gonna feed you to the point to where it's like you can learn how to make money yourself. Or if you come to like our events, you're going to meet people to help you make money. So that's how you gotta like figure it out. So like, okay, I need to be able to people to come to this or watch this and realize that this is for a benefit. Like I have to attend to this. I have to watch this, and not more so like I'll get to when I get to it. So it's like as a CEO, you got to be a visionary. You got to think ahead. You got to get creative. You got to get resourceful. I watch podcasts and these streaming shows, and I'm like, what makes me spend hours watching this? It's because it's evoking emotion. It's making me realize that I can go harder, or there's no reason why I can't become a millionaire or a billionaire. That's what I'm watching. Yeah, I watch entertainment stuff, but I scroll right through that and I never think about it again. So I'm like, okay, how can I keep people on our page? How can I keep people going to our events? How can I keep people, buying our magazine? And when I figured that out, that's when like, okay, I have potential. It's not just a magazine anymore. It's been out of magazine for a long time. That's why I try to invent new events. How can we do this better? So that way people don't get stagnant on coming to our stuff. I went last year, I ain't got to come this year. Nah, every year I'm going to introduce something new. It may cost me more, but it's reinvesting into keeping you as a loyal viewer, content consumer, client. You know.
And I'm glad you're talking about media, because that's the kind of way I want to go next with things. With media as a thing, I think media is powerful, right? The reason we wanted to get into media is because we recognize that the narrative spun about black people are not the truth that we want to see. Like, the fact of the matter is, we already know that America is this system, right? We got systemic racism. We got a lot of different socioeconomic factors that place black people as at the bottom of the system. And the media plays a role in that.
They have their own agendas.
I mean, it's easy. If you type in black man, you're going to find a bunch of pictures of mugshots. You type in white man, you're going to find pictures of a white man dressed as a lawyer, a doctor, all this shit. It just is what it is. Yeah. So seeing that and recognizing that we have the ability to control our own narratives now, I think now is the most important time in media, really. For sure. Because the gatekeepers are really gone. Oh, yeah. The things that were stopping us, like, you need to be on TV, radio. Nigga, you can hop on Black Wealth Renaissance podcast and get access to over 20, 30,000 people. And this is independent. And there's hundreds of things like that. We can control our own narrative. So, like, with your media, what is the focus of your media? What are you focused on creating with Cosign?
I mean, with Cosign, like, we really coined the tagline of culture of entrepreneurship, because there's so many different, not facades, there's so many different levels and varieties of entrepreneurship, right? Owning a food truck, you're an entrepreneur. Some people may think, I have a food truck, I'm a chef. You're an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? A fitness trainer who has like their own clients and, you know, they make their own schedule, an entrepreneur, right? So our goal is to showcase people that entrepreneurship looks and feels so many different ways, and to motivate them, inspire them that you too can become an entrepreneur. You can become an entrepreneur and be an executive at a company at the same time. Right, I want to say it was I can't remember who. I went to InvestFest, and it was like they said something to where it was like wealth. No, it's an entrepreneurship. I'm just so mad at myself. Basically, they were saying like wealth is for everybody, right? You don't have to like be an entrepreneur to get wealth, but you have to do something. Work your job, invest, work your job, real estate. You gotta do something. So it's showing people that, but it's also showing them like entrepreneurs aren't always the suit and tie guys and girls, you know what I'm saying? Like, we go out, we have to wind down. We need to go to events to where it's like we can turn this off and have a good time. Because
I'm trying to pull up in the drip, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Because if it's hustle, grind every day, all day, you don't get burnt out.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? So when you think about the culture of entrepreneurship, you're an entrepreneur and you work this to live a lifestyle that you want to live.
Facts.
And you want downtime, right? So the Cosign entrepreneur, they bust their ass, you know, all day. But in the nighttime, they going to come to a mixer and get a cocktail. They going to drink. They going to vibe out. On the weekends, they going to travel. They going to come to an event. They going to turn up. That's real entrepreneur. That's real life. Like, we don't always have to show people, like, you know, stuffy entrepreneurship. Like, that's not how, like, everyday people are, bro. So we want to kind of showcase that to inspire, you know, the next generation, and also provide a blueprint that, you know, it can look however you want it to look. You know, when I was growing up, I thought an entrepreneur was like a businessman, suit and tie every day, and I was like, man, I want my freedom, but I don't.
Yeah, you don't want to be that
I don't want to be that guy. But then I seen people like Steve Stout, you know, Diddy, you know, Oprah, and you like, man.
They still got style.
Yeah, they still got style.
They're able to stay true to themselves without having. Let's call it what it is, without whitewashing ourselves. Because that's what it is. Like, when we start talking about America and the culture of entrepreneurship, we start going back to the Eurocentric standards and all that shit. And it's like, no, we are who we are. We're, as you said, we do this as entrepreneurs to live life on our own terms.
Definitely.
You don't want to have to adhere to the corporate America. Man. Now, if that's what you want to do, do your thing. But that's not what you have to do.
For sure.
And I like that you're highlighting that with the brand, because, like, that's, again, it's so important that we put this media out there, because they're not going to show us in these lights.
Nah,
if we don't create the media, and we don't have an excuse not to at this point, we're going to continue to let other people spin narratives about our community that isn't going to get us to the end goal of what we ultimately want. With the culture of entrepreneurship, you want to foster entrepreneurship. You want to let somebody that sees another brother, like, I can do that too, like you said earlier. with us, we wanted to make it real. Like, wealth is attainable for black people.
For sure.
Like you said, yeah, you can have a job, you can have a 9 to 5, but you better be doing something else.
Doing something.
I don't need you to have a side hustle necessarily. I don't need you to sell candles or nothing like that, or you don't have to have a product, but you better be putting some money aside to invest in the stock market, real estate. You better invest in some art, something. You better put that money to work for you, because the narrative that they spinning about us is that we're ignorant and we don't want to change. And I refuse to believe that's the truth. I know too many people that want to see, that want to grow. They want to become something greater.
Definitely.
And if they don't have the vision in front of them, I'm a big believer in the idea that exposure leads to expansion.
For sure.
If I don't see it, it's harder to believe it. But if I got it in front of me, if I go into an event and I see that brother, it's tangible now.
Man.
Like when y'all both went to InvestFest last year. Tyler Perry was at InvestFest, right? Tyler Perry, billionaire. We're gonna talk about that other thing too. But studios, it makes it a lot more attainable. Bro, don't never pop out. That makes it real.
Yeah, seeing him and stuff like that. And before you get into another, like, now that we're on this topic, I did have a question.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on image and success, right? You know, we're just talking about you don't have to whitewash yourself, but do you think there still should be a certain image that you uphold in order to obtain success? Like, what if it's a nigga like, man, fuck that, I'm not cutting shit, I'm being
beard, dude.
I'm being fresh, I'm being like, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah,
I should looking like Beanie Siegel and shit.
I put it this way, bro. There's a time and place for everything, right? Like Nipsey says, sometimes you got to get ugly and grind. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might have to miss a few haircuts. When you're in grinding season, grinding mode, like, if you got to stack your chips and you're locked in, be locked in. But that doesn't necessarily mean you got to be out networking if you locked in like that, because you may not be presentable. I'm not saying you got to wear a suit and tie every time, but what you do need to do is be presentable, because first impressions are everything.
That's a fact.
No matter what demo or color you are, like, you know, we all do it. The first time I see somebody, I'm like, man, he or she may not look like somebody, you know what I'm saying? I work
like the motherfuckers with the fucking bonnets and shit on in the store.
I catch you with a bonnet in public.
Yeah,
it's like,
relax.
you get what I'm saying?
That shit.
But like, if I'm locked in, like, you know, I may spend like 2 months in solid. I'm locking in, figuring it out. That's my time. But when I step out, I'm gonna give me a nice little cut, put a nice little shirt on when it's time to go.
I was never really a runner. The way I see running is a gift, especially when you have stage 4 cancer. I'm Anne. I'm running the Boston Marathon, presented by Bank of America. I run for Dana-Farber Cancer Institute to give people like me a chance to thrive in life, even with cancer.
Join Bank of America in helping Anne's cause. Give if you can at BofA.com/supportAnne. What would you like the power to do? References to charitable organizations is not an endorsement by Bank of America Corporation. Copyright 2025.
Meet some new clients. So it's like, you got to be able to read the room. You know what I'm saying? Like, figure out the room where you're going to and adhere to that. Now, when you get to that super level of success, they always talk about, what is Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, he wears a t-shirt and jeans. Come on, man.
The nigga is one of the youngest billionaires.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? Like, we can't afford to act like that at certain levels, right? We got to play the part to get where we want to be. Yeah. And then if you want to be comfortable, you can be comfortable. But you got to be ready to get there first before you get comfortable. You can't be comfortable right now and you ain't got no clients.
Like you said, for certain clients, right, you might have to change up the swag. Right? I may not be able to pull up with the tennies and the jeans to this client. I might need the suit, but it's just, it varies, like you said.
Yeah, I ask my clients all the time. So like, I got invited, one of my clients, they invited me to the a DCO luncheon. And I asked them, is there a dress code? There's not a dress code, but like business casual probably. I'm like, okay, cool. I know business casual. I'm not going to go against the grain and come in there in like a hoodie and sweatsuits. Like, it's business casual. These are people I'm trying to connect with. If that's what they say, this is like, you know, what they want to adhere to, I'm going to adhere to that. Now, there may be some events where I can go network to where I can wear, you know, my jeans and a hoodie that makes sense. It's my type of situation. But it's also going what you're after. If you know you want to obtain a certain client, then you got to put yourself in a position to be able to attract that client. And that's probably the easiest advice you're going to give is like, image and success do go hand in hand, right? You want to be able to look the part. You want to like dress for success. It's a term for a reason. Mm-hmm. So you want to be able to dress for success. Now, it doesn't have to be your everyday thing. Like, you know, if I'm going to have lunch with somebody, I don't have to put on a suit and tie for lunch.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to a gala, yes, I'm putting on a tuxedo, or yes, I'm putting on a suit. I'm having a jacket, a tie, or what I need to for, you know, for that room.
what I wanted to talk about, we were talking about Tyler a little bit earlier, and just media. This is just throwing out topics right there at this point. I thought it was real interesting whenever the story broke that Paramount decided not to sell to Tyler. And did y'all get the particulars of it? Did you know like why the deal didn't go through?
No.
So I seen the story. I didn't really read into it deep.
Right.
But from my understanding, the agreement originally was $2 billion, and they tried to get him to go up to $3 billion. Okay. So he was like,
buy BT.
Yeah, to buy BT. It's like, nah, I'm not. What happened to the two whenever we originally agreed? But I think the thing that made me think about it is something we were talking about with Tim a little earlier when Jalen and I was speaking with him. As black people, we got to stop counting our wins so damn early all the time, bro. Like, I remember seeing the story being posted. I think we posted about it as well. Like, whenever it was talking about the bidding war, it was like, okay, this is cool, but we just run with it. This is fact. We was already congratulating it.
I was gonna say
we already was in here like, man, BET black owned again, and the ink ain't even dry.
I was gonna say that. Somebody told me, they were like, man, it's not, the deal hasn't gone down. And I'm like, bro, everybody posted. Like, bro, BET ain't posted, Tyler Perry ain't posted. The deal is not done. And then this broke down. I'm like, dang, you right. We didn't see Tyler Perry say, I bought BT or I own BT. You know what I'm saying? So like, we assume because everybody else posted it that it went through. And now look, we're backtracking.
And once again, bringing up Tim, I think that's one of the things he were talking about earlier is like, we love to celebrate the wins of other black people before we even know all the details and stuff, right? We love being, this is the first this is the first that. But at the end of the day, really, how that shit was going to affect us anyway?
Not for real. I mean,
it feels good. It feels good. Yeah, I like it when I tap the picture. Hey, let's go. BET black owned again. But it's not really because it didn't go through.
It didn't go through. But I mean, a lot of times, man, we need to. I feel like we want that motivation, inspiration to say, okay, he bought BT. You know, it's black owned. There's opportunities for me. But it's like, man, we need to work on what we got going on so we can be like, you know what I'm saying, whatever we want to be instead of worried about.
I want to be more like Tyler, and I don't need to be watching all Tyler shows to do more like what he's done in terms of the media space. I want to own and control media. I don't want to be just a consumer. Too often, I think that's the part that gets us excited. Is like, oh, BET black owned again. We're gonna be consuming black media. Well, if you watch BET in the last 2 or 3 years, Tyler Perry basically owned that shit anyway. It's all his movies and TV shows on that motherfucker, so it makes sense that he would be the one to acquire it. So, in all reality, him owning it isn't going to change nothing for nobody but him. And I mean, it's no hate, no shade. Like, I always want to see a black man win, but I just think as a community, we definitely need to take another look at things and slow down before we start clapping and giving all our accolades and praises about shit.
Let me ask y'all this: where do y'all see the future of media going?
So media in general, being that streaming has impacted it, I see media becoming more democratized for certain. Independent media is gonna be more easy to monetize in the future is what I'm thinking. Like things like what we're doing now, especially like what I'm seeing at ESPN. So I think ESPN is a real big tale of kind of how it's going, right? They're getting rid of all the on-air personalities. They clean house, like 20 people.
Okay, I seen that.
Like famous people, Jeff Van Gundy. These dudes I've been seeing since I was a little kid. And they're getting rid of them in favor of people who are like Pat McAfee, who already have their own audience. They've built something independently. I think that's where media is gonna go. It's gonna be less celebrity figure or talking head that was put in a position, like even from a journalism standpoint. One brother that does amazing work on journalism with sports, Flimlo. I don't know if y'all ever seen his video.
I watched some of his videos.
But like Flimlo is giving you 30 for 30 level content out of his crib. And he don't have no 30 for 30 budget. You know what I'm saying? Like he ain't got a whole team of writers and all that. So what I see happening in media is it becoming really, really focalized on personalities that people are attracted to.
For me personally, I do see that as well, but I also see the future of what's happening with Oculus, with Apple Vision Pro and stuff like that, right? So now it's understanding, how do I create media that's going to give people experiences as well, right? How do I create content that a person might be able to interact with, or how do I create like an immersive movie, or how do I create an immersive video that is something totally different that people haven't experienced, and then I also bring in Web3 with it as well, right? How do we now put it on Web3, and it ties back into the monetization part, right? Now, how are people starting to really generate some of that revenue with it, with the encryptions or with the tokens and stuff like that? And then it goes into, like, I'm still a firm believer in NFTs, right? How do we now
the technology?
Not
the fucking JPEG.
Nigga,
the
I was
technology.
getting to it. Stop interrupting. So like with like NFTs, right? Everybody doing the JPEG, but one of the things that Chris Brown did whenever he dropped his album last year, he had an NFT that dropped, and each NFT had special attributes to it, and it would give you certain accesses to things at shows and shit like that, right? So I think that is also media, but it also does something what you talked about earlier. It captures a moment in time. So now I got this collectible digital item or whatever, but you can also pair that with physical items, because if you get this NFT, I can still ship you something physically. I can still give you some merch, but I also give you
a vinyl or something.
I can also give you access to certain things backstage, or once again, those immersive experiences in VR and things like that. So that's what I see with media.
Nah, I agree with both of y'all. It's crazy you said that, so I was going to ask y'all about the whole Web3 NFT aspect, because I feel like it hasn't been popular like it was early before. Like, a little right post-pandemic, Web3 was like, bro, you gotta get on Web3. You gotta get on Web3. Like,
it's
NFT.
ebbs and flows, though.
Yeah, so it's like I haven't heard about it as much as I was in the beginning.
So I think the thing is with it, right? The same thing with like the crypto 2016. It was just a bubble in time where people was like, oh, this is new and exciting. Let's all pour our money into it. But not enough people went into actually understanding the use case of the technology.
So one of the things that I do is I equate it to the tech bubble of 99 and the 2000s, right? A lot of people were so hype on tech, the internet was just coming online and shit, then it crashed. But you got to pay attention not to all the noise, pay attention to the networks that are still being built. People are still building things on Web3, right? Like, even with PayPal, like the internet busted, but PayPal came out of that. You had shit like Netflix. You have a lot of companies that still came out of the bust of the internet. So you need to pay attention to people who are actually building viable products that the everyday user can use. And once again, I know this shit is a far ways off, but I do believe that Web3 is still here to stick around.
Definitely.
I think I saw an article. Don't quote me. I don't know. I don't.
Since you're new to H&R Block, we'll look at your returns from the last 3 years for any money your last guy might have missed for free.
I could get money back from last year?
You could. We'll find any mistakes.
Could have really used that 2 years ago when I dated that mistake for 5 months.
Don't leave money on the table. Switch to H&R Block and get a free Second Look review. Second Look is included at no additional cost with the purchase of tax preparation. Results vary. All tax situations are different. Fees apply if you have us file an amended return.
Remember the source, but I did see an article where Apple is going to partner with they just won the SEC lawsuit, man. Fuck, why I can't think of their name? Ripple, XRP.
They actually won that lawsuit.
Yeah.
Oh man, them niggas been in litigation for like 3 years, bro.
Yeah, they won the lawsuit.
That's what's
partner
up.
with them.
Yeah.
So they actually considered a security now, or
I didn't dive into it.
We're not gonna misinform, but okay.
Yeah. So
no, for sure. But no, I definitely believe in NFTs, because I know we were at Cosign, was thinking about a way to create an NFT to give people like all access of Cosign, right? So it's like you get this NFT and you got all access to, everything from the awards, the events, in person, all this. And what's crazy is, because I also want to ask y'all about the membership model things. That's where things like really went to. But it's like,
how sustainable is it?
Exactly.
Because everybody's got a membership model.
Everybody has a membership model. So it's like,
That's so true.
That's how I feel too. Like everybody's got a subscription. You got subscriptions for streaming. You got subscriptions for fucking apps on your phone. The bitches at Apple always charging you for some random reason.
Everything,
that's
bro.
A fact.
So it's like, when do you hit that subscription threshold? It's kind of like with the tipflation thing, right?
Yeah.
Like niggas is tired of like all of these subscriptions. Yeah. I just want to buy a product one time and get used for it.
That's it. And that's, I guess, with an NFT, right? And can you charge recurring on the NFT, or is it a one-time purchase?
You
thing?
asking the wrong nigga.
Because I think that, like, even with like what you're talking about, right? Some all access. Yeah. Maybe if they get the NFT, they're not necessarily in everything for free, unless it's just like a big ticket item. Like you pay $10,000, $20,000, and whatever we do for the rest of the time.
Like a lifetime. You know what I'm saying?
You a lifetime cosign.
But you can limit it though. Like, okay, I'm gonna do 10 lifetime cosign NFTs. Y'all pay 10. That's $100,000. Y'all pay $10,000 right now. 10 people good for the rest of their life. Maybe they could pass it down to, like, you know what I'm saying?
They can sell it.
And then once again,
they can sell it.
You got tiers of that too.
Yeah.
There's different things that you can do with NFTs. You can build in royalties for every time they sell it. You still get a percentage. I think for y'all is y'all do a special NFT magazine, right? But you do it both digitally, but you also give them a special physical copy. Sure. And there's ways that you can actually make physical NFTs now too, to where you can like verify that this is a one of one, like kind of like some art type shit, certification.
Now we on this conversation. I know we talking about NFTs, but we also talking about subscriptions. One thing I was thinking about recently, how do y'all think streaming is killing music?
I think streaming is killing everything.
Yeah,
you don't see what's going on with the Writers Guild, the Actors Guild. That's why these niggas on strike, bro.
Yeah.
They not making money from Netflix. A lot of these products and a lot of these TV shows and everything, the people who actually making these things come to light, they're not getting paid. Yeah. A lot of these actors are putting their royalty checks up front. It's one of the what is bro name? Fuck, but he was in like a lot of movies. He played Radon in Blue Mountain State, right? You watch
Blue Mountain State. I'm trying to think who the hell Radon is.
Not Radon, nigga. He played
the big swole.
Yeah,
the
quarterback.
I don't remember.
But he played Radon on Weeds. Anyway, he's been on hella TV shows, and he was posting his royalty checks. He only had one check that issued out to $100. That nigga had a $4 check.
I could believe
the
that.
check cost more to print and ship to him than what was on the actual check.
I could believe it because, like, I was looking at it for, like, Utopia, right? I was watching a video earlier today. Utopia was the biggest release of this year so far. 180 million streams first day, some shit like that. There was estimated that with what they pay per stream, it's like 0.003 cents to 0.005 cents. So for that 180 million streams, that's like 300 to 600K.
180 million or 180 billion streams?
180 million M.
Okay.
That's 300 to 600K. And yeah, hearing that sounds like a lot of money. But think about how much money was put into production for Utopia.
The good thing about that is with Travis, he released it after the bundles came back. So he sold physical copies as well.
Yeah, but I'm still saying, bro, like, I'm just talking about the streaming side
the streaming
of things.
aspect
So,
is
like,
bullshit.
Streams for the consumers. It ain't for the creators, bro. Like, the consumers is perfect. You got a unlimited library of everything, so, you know, for this monthly fee. But for the creators, it's trash, man.
But then also think about it as well as, like, for the companies, right? How does streaming actually work? They got huge fucking data warehouses under the sea and shit that they storing all of this data. They're storing all of these songs, all of these megabytes and shit. We all in media. Yeah. We know how much this shit fucking
that shit
take
not
up.
Cheap to keep.
To buy data, that shit not cheap.
Yeah.
To hold not gigabytes, not terabytes, but petabytes, and there's another fucking thing because I'm studying for cybersecurity right now. It's one that it's got like 36 zeros behind it. I forgot the fucking word.
Bro, don't even try to say that word. But it's like, I know that's a tetratrilia, gazillion bytes.
Shit like that, right?
Ridiculous.
How do you? Somebody got to pay for it.
Yeah. But no, this is what actually made me think about with this music stuff, right? So if
I'm not saying them niggas is right to be fucking the people.
No, I'm not even, fuck the streaming services and all that. But it made me think, right, about all these artists selling their masters. And I think streaming is the reason for it. like realistically looking at it now, music isn't valued the same way it was before. Whenever you were selling physical copies, an album was $10 per person. Now it's $14.99 a month getting split across everybody. So now, like, I'm looking at these artists selling their masters, and I'm like, they really ahead of the curve, and they're making a smart move, in my opinion, because now is the only time you're probably gonna be able to get this bag. Them royalty checks not gonna be hitting the same with streaming in 10, 20 years.
Yeah, you got too much.
The labels gonna be the ones holding the bag on that shit, because, like, do you realistically see people paying $20, $30, $40 a month for Spotify and Apple Music?
Nah, I'm not paying all that.
I don't like music that much.
Nigga,
I'm gonna go buy physical copies at that point.
I'm gonna go to YouTube. I'm gonna rip that shit.
Nah,
and I'm gonna add it to my fucking.
You gonna
phone.
start burning CDs again?
Yeah, nigga, I did it with an album recently. I ain't gonna tell y'all which one, but I did that shit recently.
And you gotta think there's so many fish.
You burnt a CD?
Nah, nigga, I stole an album off of YouTube and I put it on my phone.
I thought I was about to say, nigga, I started burning CDs.
It's not available nowhere.
I see what you're saying.
What's the name of that?
I'm not gonna tell you because I don't want the nigga to come after me. But I'll tell you off camera.
Okay.
Yeah. But there's so many fish in the sea too now. You gotta think about it, bro. Like back in the day when we were paying $10 for a CD, it was harder to make music. Right? You had to go to a recording studio. You damn near had to have a deal to make a CD to get publicized. Now it's like, bro, you got a phone, a program. Everybody's making music.
Then
so
you got
like,
AI that's helping out with the music too.
Bro, everybody can be artists. You know what I'm saying? So it's like...
Shit, I might get in the booth, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I got some bars to drop on them.
Yeah, think about your consumption. Do y'all stream every new project that comes out?
No.
No, hell no.
And when y'all do stream a project, how long y'all streaming it for?
It's very rare a project gets like three times in like the rotation, like back to back.
I gotta like it. Like a lot of the times that shit not even coming in my library. I'll just search it up.
Yeah.
Like only shit that I really like is gonna come to my library, and I'll be like, okay, I'll fuck with this.
Trying to think about the last album that I just like with this year. Probably was Smino album this year. It was like the last one that was like on rotation a few times in a row. Everything else is like hit it.
Yeah.
Couple songs I like you said, download the ones I like, and then we keep it pushing.
So now you got them. Now they're really relying on that show money, on that merch, on that product, on their likeness, because it's not the music. The music is for the attention, it's for the notoriety, so that they can sell other things. Because it ain't gonna be music that's gonna keep them on top, unless they Beyonce, Drake. You know,
and that's another thing with the streaming models, right? Did y'all know, like, somehow, I think it's Apple Music, how they do their streaming shares? You talked about busting down to $14.99. The niggas who's getting the most streams is getting the biggest checks.
So they ain't even split evenly.
Yeah.
It's like a tier system.
Shit, that's crazy,
bro.
But like what you just said, KG, made me think about this broader conversation of media, even with musicians, right? The media is not going to be the money. The money comes from the other things associated with the media. The community you build from the media is where the money is.
Bro, this is why I transitioned from music to entrepreneurship, right? Let me tell you why. In music, I was trying to sell artists advertising. These niggas are starving.
Yeah.
They can't pay $1,000 to get in a magazine, right? But I'm like, who can? I'm like, businesses can, right? So you get a content for free, but you charge the businesses to sustain. So you charging the sponsors, these large corporations, etc., and you give the content to the people. That's how media is, right? Like the media isn't the all end all be all, right? That's just to get the attention, to build a community, to have the numbers, the data. You package that and you make money other ways. That's why if you see a lot of media companies do IRL events and real life events, they're building their own event series,
Hi, this is Javon, your Blinds.com design consultant.
Oh, wow. A real person.
Yep. I'm here to help with everything from selecting the perfect window treatments to...
Well, I've got a complicated project.
No problem. I can even help schedule a professional measure and install. We can also send you samples fast and free.
I just might have to do more.
Whatever you need.
So the first room we're looking at is for...
Shop Blinds.com now and get up to 45% off with minimum purchase. Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
But he has, Afrotech and, whatever else they got. Complex got ComplexCon.
Essence
Essence Fest. Forbes got, these Forbes Summits.
Culture,
Forbes Culture, all that. Like, they're
Revolt
building.
Summit and shit like that.
Now they got Revolt World. You know what I'm saying? They're building these in-person events because that's where they get a lot of advertising sponsorship dollars for that type of event that they can build on to that stuff. So it's like, the media is the media, but they make a lot of money when they do these in-person events, bro. So it's like in media, that's another way to where I see a lot of the future of media too. You know, like now that I don't say we're past COVID, but
man, we post-COVID. It's post-COVID America.
Yeah, but you know,
I mean, niggas still getting COVID, but it's post-COVID. Like
niggas
I don't see niggas walking around with masks and shit no more.
What diapers on their face?
People are investing in experiences, man.
That is a fact.
And the older you get,
because you took it away.
Yeah, you took it away. So people are investing in experiences. So now, like, bro, I'm not missing. You know, that's this Invest Fest. Like, Earn Your Leisure podcast turning into
events.
An event. Like that, in media, we all have to create. I call it my signature event. You know what I'm saying? That one event that could at least sustain a portion of your company from that one event alone. You know, that's why I tell all my people, I'm like, bro, like you got to figure out what your niche is and build an event around it, because that's how you really gonna eat when you have like those other months to where it's like, what else can I do on top of my content? What else can I do on top of advertising or membership model, subscription, bro? It's those events, man. I'm always gonna preach events and sponsorships because those two things change the trajectory of Cosign.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
That's
real.
That's hard. That's real.
Yeah, that changed the trajectory of Cosign, and if you ever think about getting in media, those two parts right there.
That's still the. Is it the biggest? That is the biggest check that we received as BWR was from an event sponsorship.
Yeah,
it's gonna be always the biggest bags that you can get.
I'm trying to be like David Shares. How much was it?
Shit was. What was
be
it?
all y'all business.
I think it was 15. Yeah, 15
15
for that event.
bands.
That's crazy.
And then we did some other events like with a collective group. 50. We got 50K check and shit like that.
You got a 50K check? That's lit. You know what I'm saying?
From Chase.
For the Black Men's Summit,
yeah,
which you should be at in Atlanta. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, well, I'm going to edit this part out.
We don't.
Bands on top of bands.
After the summit, we can talk about that.
I am going to talk to Shay and try to figure out what are their initiatives so we can make sure that partnership sustains to next year.
Yeah, for sure. Again, shameless plug. Black Men's Summit, Atlanta, November 4th. Black Wealth Renaissance, Black Menswear, The Black Man Can. We've come together to create a safe space for men to grow and lead their families in their community. This year's theme is a celebration of kings, and you are that king. So, fellas, ladies, if you're watching this, any special man in your life, this is for black men ages, I think we say 18 and up. We're not going to do the kids. This is for black men. We want to build this community and have a space where we can come together and do so. As black men, often we don't do this. We can get together at the barbershop and talk shit. We can go fuck with the hoes. We can do all the other shit at the football game. But when it comes time to sit down and let's really focus on building, brothers want to start bullshitting. Nah, come build with us in Atlanta. November 4th is going to be a special day. Early bird tickets are still available. Yep. Go to blackmensummit.com/tickets and it'll take you right there. All right, into my shameless plug.
Support them boys ASAP.
Yes, sir. But KG, we're going to wrap this thing up, man. My brother, thank you for coming through with us. Thank you for kicking it with us. Please let the people know where they can follow you. Let these people know where they can tap in with you. Also, you see that, huh? Let them know about Cosign Awards, everything that you got coming up.
Nah, for sure. Definitely follow me at Cosign KG. If you go on my bio on Instagram, you'll see Cosign Mag, La Vida Cosign, Cosign Loft, all the other pages on there. Linktree will take you to our YouTube where you can subscribe to our podcast, magazines, newsletters, and all that. November 19th, we have the Cosign Awards. By the time y'all watch this, nominations will be open. So we'd love to come see y'all out, buy a ticket, support, or a table, or sponsor. And if you like any gems that we dropped or, on sponsorships, you want to learn more, there's a link in our bio. We have a sponsorship guide out.
I'm going to download that shit.
I'm going to get it as well because this brother know what he talking about.
Go get that. And definitely we got also having a sponsorship deck template. So like if you're like, I got the guide, or if you don't have anything, you're like, I need a template on what I use to secure over 6 figures of sponsorships. This is the same template. I'm giving it to y'all. So, so hit the link in our bio, download that. And if you have any questions, reach out, and we'd love to help y'all out.
Hey man, and if you in Dallas, listen to me. When's the Industry Networking Mixer?
September 12th is the Industry Networking Mixer.
Okay, this is gonna come out probably 3 weeks before that. If you're in Dallas, that's an event that BWR co-signs. We co-sign. So y'all pull up, man. We will make sure to put that in the show notes for him because y'all need to be there. This brother puts on some of the best events in Dallas.
Yeah. Man,
you're gonna meet some amazing people there. So KG,
it's gonna be an experience. The drinks gonna be flowing.
Drinks will be flowing. So definitely come ready to network. It's always good to have a vibe and catch a vibe, but come with some intention. Like, hey, I want to connect with 5 people in this field, and what I'm saying, you're gonna meet them there. So pull up and let's see y'all there.
Hey, I love it. So once again, Eric.
Yes, thank you, my brother.
Yeah, thank you, my brother.
On us. You gave him your social media, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Did that. To the spell. Everybody listening, I want to say thank y'all again for rocking with us. Appreciate y'all for tapping in every week. Make sure you share this with families. If you are a new listener, subscribe if you like what you heard. If you didn't, sorry. We'll see you next time. I'll catch you in the next. I was gonna say it, but I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna be an asshole. But yeah, if you didn't, pass it to somebody who might like it. Once again, if you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that notification bell. Make sure you subscribe.
Subscribe, nigga.
And once again,
if you watch this whole video, can I call them bitches? I'm gonna call them bitches. Hey, if you watch this whole video and you ain't subscribed yet, use a bitch. I'm just gonna call you what it is.
Well, I guess you're a bitch if you didn't subscribe. Also, don't be a bitch and go subscribe to our Patreon. Make sure you can get some of this exclusive
content.
That's
where all real niggas at.
Yeah. We might make a tier called Real Niggas. But yeah,
Big Wealth Energy is gonna be one of the tiers too.
Okay, I like that.
Okay, we cooking, yeah. Pod. Okay, my bad. I keep interrupting.
This nigga, yeah. Well, yeah, man, we appreciate y'all. That's really all I gotta say, man.
Y'all. I really ain't got nothing. That's why I keep bullshitting. But again, y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Don't be a hoe ass nigga. Subscribe. And until next time, this is BWR signing out. Peace.
McDonald's has entered a Minecraft movie universe, and Grimace, Birdie, and Hamburglar just spawned as new collectibles as part of a Minecraft movie meal with your choice of Big Mac or 10-piece Chicken McNuggets with spicy nether flame sauce. Participate in McDonald's for a limited time. A Minecraft movie only in theaters.